Right, level to base now, which will not be needed.
So as they come into land then, please give a huge round of applause for leading the team, Flight Sergeant Liam Lyons, Sergeant Sean McKay, Sergeant Andy Lee, Sergeant Mike Atkinson, Sergeant Gage Coleman Moffat, Sergeant Greg Ashleby, Sergeant Owen Collins, Sergeant Marcus Shields, and last but very not least is OT Falcons Flight Lieutenant Jennifer.
Just need a few moments there to catch our breath. First of many displays we had from the Royal Air Force for you throughout the day.
They often come to Teesside to practice box shoes, and when they land at the store,
Well, I'm sure you'll agree with me, that was something very...
It's so difficult to get across the enormity in any event of the air operations alone on D-Day, let alone everything that was going on the ground and on the water. Of course, you mentioned and it's a Gazelle HP2 model that was used for 25 years by the Empire Test Pilot School and latterly part, of course, of Kinetic at Boscombe Down. Semi-5 naval air Squadron Gazelle of the Fleet Air. The 705 will provide with both the Sharks and the Cosford pair display teams on the circuit for many years. As for the pilots, well, leading the team for 2024 is Richard Mitchell, who's been with the team since it was founded more than 6 years ago. He flew the Gazelle and Lynx with the Army Air Corps, including operations during the 1991 Gulf conflict and later in the former Yugoslavia on all the peacekeeping efforts in the mountains there through the 1960s. Suffer so much clearly as the helicopter proceeds through the air. The rotor disc, the blades whirring around on the top. For part of the disc they are going forward, for part of the disc they are going backwards, and that creates all sorts of very interesting aerodynamic effects, which does have a limiting factor on the top speed of the aircraft. Combat proven has been already mentioned in the Gulf and of course in the Falklands as well. It's safe to say anyone in the country all 4 helicopters owned by Falcon Aviation, and the team has a number of volunteer ground crew who assist in bringing them to you on the display circuit. Calling his colleagues back into line astern as they position over the countryside. And once again, coming straight in towards you, the break of the 2024 Gazelle Squadron. The umbrella of a company called Ascent. And you can trace the development of the Hawk T2 model that we see here back to what was then British Aerospace, today BAE Systems, earlier efforts to upgrade the Hawk family during the 1980s with the Hawk 100 model with considerable airframe revisions, new avionics, new wings and improved combat capabilities. That led on to the 120 series, the leading fighter trainer, South Africa and Australia among the export customers for the Hawk over the to begin with the RAF before being dispatched to the Soviet Union to continue its operational career, running in the Hawker Hurricane 1. And that gives you a bit of an idea of just how busy they are. This is a typically busy summer weekend for the RAF Red Arrows. They were also flying yesterday, so flew back from Valley down to Bournemouth yesterday for another display at Southsea near Portsmouth, back up to Shawbury to be here for this weekend. This is a very important day for them, of course. The RAF only air show of the year with the RAF Red Arrows. Give them away as they leave, and then Juno helicopters heading back to RAF Shawbury. Red 10, the safety supervisor and commentator of the Red Arrows, is demonstrating the Juno helicopter, often used to fly him into locations ahead of the team, ready for him to do his commentaries, and that'll be exactly what will happen this afternoon. So you'll see Juno come back with Red 10 a little bit later on. Aviation, the WASP dating from the 1950s, and the Wildcat very much the shipborne helicopter of today. Think back over the years. Of shipboard helicopter operation here, Andy. We'll talk, as you say, more about the WASP later on when it gives its solo display after another submarine helicopter to attack an enemy submarine. They can operate to up to 100 miles from their mother ship. Very different concept now. The Leonardo Wildcat of this whole new formation. From the civilian Navy Wings Heritage Flight. Electro control device. High-powered camera. Target. Clearly not range. Both day and night. Weather conditions. The Wildcat capabilities have been developed significantly since the empty service and began to replace the Army units with Royal Navy units, because these helicopters can very impressive numbers down the start the display. Just imagine this aircraft operating on a very, very small helicopter landing pad. We are talking sort of tennis court size on the stern of a Royal Navy frigate or destroyer, in strong winds, in all sorts of weather conditions. There's nowhere to divert to. on the Wildcat. HMA2 in back to Warbirds that we turn, and 2 reflecting in particular. Journal that it was lifed at just 10 hours initially because it was built for the JIFIC, the target that was meant when the short Tucano took over there completely. It was then sold into civilian hands. Today it's with the Newcastle Jet Provost Group, made up of several private pilots. It's got very, very low airframe hours. I'd say it's one of the lowest now JPs in existence. And rather physically, it now lives not in Newcastle, but at Leeds East Airport, otherwise known as the former RAF.
So much. Thank you. Absolutely. all Air Force pilots, as well as converting frontline pilots into qualified flying instructors. During his various career, Bob has amassed over 8,000 hours on 50 different aircraft types. This is almost a full year in the air. After this next manoeuvre, the calm Cuban, Bob will enter the slow roll. Get your cameras ready for some great angles. Throughout the slow roll, Bob will skillfully coordinate elevator, rudder and aileron efforts to achieve the vector pointing upwards. This prevents him from descending towards the ground. The tutor has a top speed of 212 miles per hour and can achieve maximum positive 6G, meaning that the pilot is subjected to forces 6 times stronger than gravity. Next we have another wing over, a combined pitching and rolling manoeuvre used to turn the flight path through 180 degrees. You'll notice that every wing over is slightly different as Bob carefully selects his flight. The University Air Force has provided huge opportunities for personal development, as well as a wide variety of adventure training in the UK and expeditions across the globe. We're now in a high-energy section of the display with the director, quarter rover, and narrow loop, which is a quintessential aerobatic manoeuvre. As he pulls up, Bob is subjected to 5G, aims to pitch the aircraft around an imaginative circle in the sky. Even when inverted, the centrifugal forces keep it pressed into his seat.
Takeoff, the aircraft not using half the runway almost, because of course it's very long range as well. When the patrol bomber version prototype was made in 1945, so just one day before the E-Day, that U-boat U-320 was on its first operational patrol, and it ended up being abandoned on the E-Day itself. Rather bad luck for the crew, but they did all survive. But then it did touchdown. Earlier, the fact that one of the themes of this display is the 100th anniversary of what became the Royal Auxiliary Air Force. It wasn't the only reserve component, was it, Andy? There was also the RAF. Allows him to withstand these manoeuvres, many of which are being conducted at 9G, meaning your body weighs up 9 times normal. Carrying a Cosford gun on one of its 3 unslung load books. Flying the aircraft today is Flight Lieutenant Ian Cooper, known as with a team of 4 Royal Logistic Corps, 3 Army Air Corps and 2 RAF, demonstrating their capability to operate as one in any environment. Rapidly decelerate the aircraft and turn using some pedals. This results in the side of the airframe acting as a wind brake. Task complete. The passengers are now cleared back onto the aircraft with a brand new addition to the Chinook roll demo, the big orange thumb. Wearing the thumb today and operating at the number 1 crew position is Sergeant Aaron Woodward. Born and raised under the bright lights of Blackpool, Woody joined the RAF in 2012 as an RAF regiment gunner. Woody is a survival instructor and crewman trainer and is keen to contribute to the next generation of the Chinook force. Woody and Mal are now working together seamlessly to secure all
not just those involved with the aircraft, but of course all the ground troops and JHSS. Wonderful, wonderful.
Just got a quick announcement. Sure.
There's a pretty famous display team. After passing initial officer training, wearing trained navigators, but also as part of the low-level and air defence units, specifically navigators destined for fast jet operations in the... But it became quite a formidable little combat aircraft in its own right, particularly with the Sultan of Oman's Air Force. During the Notable uprising, saw on several occasions and diving back to the ground to escape. You can admire the amazing doing during the mission. So at the 35 week, this is our expertise. It's low-level flying and high-speed delivery. What about the weather? The weather, thanks to our great practice. A glorious sight indeed. 2 aircraft now heading south, heading back towards RAF Cosford, their home base. In RAF service, this is a tactical and strategic airlift aircraft. Aircraft's colour scheme, door on the team name, is what was taken to number 65 for just one official. Royal Air Force prior to that, there have been different credited teams every season. That's the birth of the Red Arrows. Their first display of the legs is always an impressive end
RAF Cosford, 6th of May 1965. Their public debut took place 9 days later. CEO of Lowe's, the British Motor Corporation, painted red to match their aircraft. They went on to display the maps around the world, including the US tour. He was a member of the team from 1968 to 70 and then leader from 1975 to 76. Described it to me as a beautiful aeroplane to fly. Very small, of course, but you always felt that you put it on when you got into the cockpit. It was extreme.
Starts to pull up and he takes the team to the left, and you'll see that platform of our world famous Diamond 9. Red 8 and 9 start to make their way left and right. On the board, T12, and we are commanded by Officer Commanding RAF Wing Commander Adam Collins, former Tornado pilot and also flew. Originally from Zimbabwe, he's a former Typhoon pilot. He flew with 11 squadrons. He was then instructor on 29 squadrons before then joining. Red 4 last year, he remained as Red 4 and took up the role effectively known as Uphill Edie. This means he is the role model and mentor for the new pilots all the way through their winter training. Here on the team, he's a former Typhoon pilot with 11 squadrons, and he's also taken part in operations over Iraq and Syria, as well as taking part in the Eastern Europe Air Policing Patrol. Of course, Red Arrow is a large team. It's not just about the Red Arrow pilots 1 to 11. We have a team of over 140 personnel. Over 120 of them are the engineers, the technicians, the mechanics, the logisticians, the administrators, the suppliers. And they are called the Blues because of the colour of their flying coveralls. And we have a number of Blues here at the Red Arrows PR tent in the RAF village today. So please make sure you come and visit and say hello. And the team off to the left hand side, Red 8 and 9 in trail for one of the most popular, if not the most popular manoeuvre we fly. It's once again for 2024, it's Tornado! Red 9 calls you ball as Red 8 and 9 roll around the smoke. But watch for the colour change as Red 1 brings the team down the line. The first one, it means the pilots fly with a higher throttle setting. And then the arrows from the black arrows. And of course, we flew the aircraft from the Yellow Jacks, which you have just seen performing before us. From the right, forming up with our own tribute to that aircraft, this is Nat. Which is the aircraft we still fly today. And it's Tom Hansford. Tom is in his second year in the team. He's a former Typhoon pilot and also qualified weapons instructor on the Typhoon. Of course, we're hard talking to the former on the welcome you on the team here at the Harrier Pilots and also a former Typhoon Pilot. And of course, later on this year we will go and represent the Royal Air Force and the UK in Canada as we celebrate the Royal Canadian Air Force 100th anniversary.
And minus 10 feet. Without them on the plane. That was very amazing. So to perform like this properly today, you have to know that they are training every day, twice a day, for 20 to 30 minutes. And it might be the first year of the captain on the team, but it's not his first time in and the figures are and precise. Every 5 degrees of difference between the figures they are doing and the figures that they were supposed to. So if you want to support us on social media, and I also want to tell you how proud and happy we are to be here with you this weekend. As we were telling you earlier, it's a symbolic day for France and for Great Britain. It's the 120 years anniversary of the Great Anthem. It's the 80 years birthday of the D-Day, and we are so happy to celebrate with you. It's also the 90 years of the creation of the French Air Force, and we are really
Okay, well, with Sebastian back on the...
That's it. It's not going to get any heat from the ground or anything. It's screwed. That's it.
The aircraft has often been misused and repainted to represent all sorts of other aircraft. I'm thinking, of course, of the Zero, famously. I rewatched The Bridge Too Far not so long ago, where there's ground attack conference, the close air support role in the Netherlands in September 1940. Yes, built by North America itself in 1944 for the US Army Air Forces. It was loaned by the post-war US Air Force to the Canadians. Back to the US, West Air Restoration downtown Illinois, and it's finished in 2011. It's one of basically the colours we see here. Those are the And there he is, back on the ground. A fantastic exhibition of the muscle fit from Rich Goodwin. So now we have just 2 items remaining on the flying programme. The aeroplanes were disastrous. Back to number 90 Squadron, Global Fortress is the RAF. And horrible missions. Total 1,350 B-17s were available for operations, and they were heavily involved that very special morning, attacking early in the morning but quite late, in that they were bombing just ahead of the landing craft coming up the beach, trying to strike a final blow to the defences and to also keep the heads down, I think is the terminology used at the time. But of course the weather on June 6, 1944 was not very good. And that was a lovely presentation. The crew today headed by Dutchman Lee Kuipers as captain, and the co-pilot was John Corley. Electronic warfare and intelligence gathering simultaneously. It doesn't have to land, it doesn't have to rearm different weapons, different bits. It can do all these missions all at the same time in what a signal sortie. All of the the F-35B has been flown on long-range missions as part of our response to the Ukraine conflict, integrating with Typhoons and other NATO assets. And our fleet of these aircraft future it's intended that F-35 will be able to operate as part of a team with uncrewed platforms, UAVs basically, at one time.